So I usually take 2 of the pieces I cut and I connect them. I just sew straight across 2 pieces on the end. Then I lay it flat with the seam pointing toward this part of my machine. And I run a second parallel seam right down next to the first one. So it's going to look like that. That makes it stronger and it won't fall apart. And then you can trim off the excess so there's not so much bulk in there when we actually make the tube. Cut off all my little strings. All right, so in order to make the tube, we're going to fold this in half, right sides to right side, so that seam's going to be on the outside now. I'm going to show you how to make the tube on a short strip so I don't have to take so long. So when you fold it in half, you're going to find a piece of cord or a piece of yarn, something really long and strong, and you're going to take the cord and you're going to place it in that fold, just like that. Then you're going to run the sewing machine right across the edge to secure that yarn or string, whatever you use, shoestring, doesn't matter, right across the edge. So you're going to secure that in place. Now you're going to take that cord all the way along the length of this piece of fabric here that we're going to fold in half, and you're going to slide it over to the fold in the middle, and you're going to place that right on the left-hand side of your foot. So it'll always push it to the side and you won't sew over top of it. And then you're going to have about 1/4 inch on the other side of the seam. So you're just going to sew straight down, sew this tube closed, keeping that cord and that fold away from your needle. When you get to the end, make sure that cord stays over in that fold and just sew right off the end, finishing up your tube. Now you see the cord is loose in there. So next thing you're going to do is you go back to the other end and finding a chopstick, or I use a chopstick, they're really handy, or a pencil, something like that. You're going to try to work where you closed it off. We're going to try to work that down in this tube just a tiny bit to get it started. And I usually just kind of poke it down in there with my finger, and then I take something like a pencil or a chopstick in this case, and you just keep pushing it till you can feel that it's going down in. See, it's pushing it down in. Then you go back and you take this cord and you start pulling this cord, and it'll start bunching up on you. And it'll just pull right off the end. And it turns your tube right side out really quick. So then you just cut off the end of the piece here, so you have your cord for your next tube that you're going to make. Then you take your tube to your iron and iron it flat. Just kind of roll this. See where you made the seam? You're just going to try to kind of roll that like this with your fingers, and then just iron it flat.